Hey fandom, it's me Aaron for a comic show. You know Saga came out because I'm wearing my lying shirt and I'm being an honest cat here. It really did come out. And there's some good books this week. This is the week before the, I don't know, new comic day before Christmas next week. I'll do a video for next week's. We'll probably get it out early, but this week I'm just going to cover this week's books. There's some good stuff. Harley Quinn's out. It's issue 1. No, she's not breaking the fourth wall anymore. I mean, that was the entire first issue, or the entire 0 issue. It's a Connor and Palmiani. It's fun. The art by Chad Harding is pretty awesome. I'm digging it. It's cartoony, fluid, but also detailed, and I'm digging it. But it still has this feel like Deadpool, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I'm kind of talking like maybe Daniel Way's Deadpool, where it was Deadpool trying to find himself. He's like, oh, I'm an X-Men now, I'm a pirate, arr. And with this, she's like, oh, I'm a roller derby girl. Oh, I'm going to run a apartment building on Coney Island. I'm doing this. And, you know, I could say more about what the apartment building is and how Glenn Danzig's there and, you know, some stuff of what some of the plot is. But some of the plot of the building in that doesn't come till like the very last couple pages. So I'm not going to spoil that. However, I enjoyed the book. It was funny. It was fun. I'm enjoying Harley Quinn, and I don't mind if she's there Deadpool. I mean, she was there Deadpool before Deadpool was Deadpool, perhaps. I mean, I don't know. She was on an animated show. It was great. She had a great wit about her. I love the character, and I love that she has a solo book again. It's awesome. And Connor and Palmiani are going to kick some ass on it. New Guardians. This is Justin Jordan. It's Kyle Rayner. And it's very Star Trek feel. It felt so much like Star Trek. I know it's a sci-fi book, but it felt like Star Trek. They're on an away mission. They're on this other planet, and they're learning all about war and peace through the eyes of these other people on this other planet, and a utopia and all that stuff. And I liked it. I'm enjoying it. I like Kyle Rayner. He's not my favorite. Guy Gardner's my favorite. But Justin Jordan, Brad Walker are really kicking ass here. And Jordan always picks great artists. Brad Walker is really good, really great at sci-fi stuff. I loved his stuff on Guardians, and now he's on Guardians of the Galaxy and New Guardians, so it's great stuff. Moving on to Marvel, Superior Spider-Man. This is just, the stuff has hit the fan. This is insane. The Venom symbiote is on Spidey. He is now the Superior Venom. He's like a black costume Spider-Man, but with the Venom, he's controlling it. It's sort of controlling him, perhaps. It's, how much of it is that Ock's just a total dick, and how much of it is that Venom is making him be more of a dick? Who knows? Yeah, he confronts Mary Jane. He confronts Aunt May. It hits the fan in this issue, and the big guns are called out to rein him in by the end, and everything's just going crazy. It reminds me of when Norman was running stuff with Hammer, and you were just waiting for that other shoe to drop. You're just waiting for him to lose his shit, and for everything to just go nutso, as it did with Siege. And every issue just seems like a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit like, come on, but I'm enjoying it. Uncanny Avengers 14, I'm still not going to spoil what happened in 14, because, I don't know, like 3 characters died. Looked like they died, and with this issue, it still seems like they died. It wasn't like they did a Family Guy where it's like the next issue, like, oh, well, Brian's alive. Yeah, spoiler, Brian's alive. Anyway, but these guys are, not only are the characters that appeared to die still seem dead, it looks like more are going to die, and there's just more ridiculous death and destruction to come, and Rick Remender is just firing on all cylinders with this. It's insane. It's an insane crescendo to his whole super arc. It's called Rapture, and it's great. The mutants get raptured. They get called up. They go to mutant heaven. It was awesome. Moving on to my most favorite things, Image Comics. I got like 4 of my favorite Image books out this week. My very favorite Image book, Saga, and then some of my new favorites like Zero and Black Science and East of West. Saga was, in my opinion, the best new book out of 2012, and East of West is the best new book out of 2013. Zero is nipping on its heels as far as, if it came out earlier, if it was on issue 8, maybe I would say it's better than East of West. But let's just talk Saga now. This issue was so good. It not only starts with like journalism and modern journalism and commentary on that, and what's the only type of story that would get killed? What's the only story that the powers that be don't want told, because it seems like you can go as hardcore as you want with your crazy unsubstantiated or crazy exposés on this side or that side, but what kind of story would they have to kill? What kind of story do they not want? And also, it's what's the opposite of war? The opposite of war is not peace. Peace is just a lull in fighting. So it explained what the opposite of war is, and that ties in the entire theme of Saga so far, and why it has to be a mature reader book, and why it's so heavy on the freaking sex. Yes, it all comes together. This issue is, it was amazing. I loved this issue. I love Saga. This issue is great. Read it. Read it. Make sure you read it in your car. If you shop at the Geek Easy, buy it, come in here, have a beer, and read it here. Just read it as soon as you possibly can. It was awesome. East to West 8. I'm digging East to West. I love this crazy world of just brokenness and just all these different factions of America all separate, and all the death and destruction and the Four Horsemen, and it's just so much happens each issue. There's so much of this world building, and I'm digging it. I love that book, and try the graphic novel. Just give it a shot. It's great. Zero. Every issue of Zero is a single issue story. It's all by Alice Cott, who, if you're not following him or friends with him on Facebook or following him on Twitter, you should. This guy is very insightful. I feel like I'm smarter every time I read one of his posts. I really like him. I like the guy. He's cool. And Zero, different artist, single issue story, all in different time periods, bouncing around, but they're telling a narrative of this guy Zero and what he has done as, kind of a soldier, spy, hitman, crazy dude. And this issue did not disappoint. It's also in the future, 2019. Really, really raw, really violent, really gritty. The art fit, and I'm digging it. I love Zero. If you haven't given that a shot, do it. I mean, whether you're a fan of action, whether you're a fan of just indie work, whether you're a fan of political intrigue and mind-expanding, thought-provoking stuff, or whether you're just a fan of comic art and you want to see some of the greatest new artists on the scene that might only be able to commit to a single issue, get Zero. It is awesome. The Tradmore, boom, that one was great. Moving on to Black Science, Rick Remender. You guys know how much I love Rick Remender. I've had him to the store. He's a very funny guy, witty, charming. He's also an asshole, but yeah, I have a video of him that I was interviewing him, and then halfway through the interview, he started interviewing me and being extremely rude to me. And I watch it and laugh sometimes because I might put it public. The only reason I didn't put it public is because he comes across as kind of a racist on it, but maybe I'll show it someday. But Black Science, it's awesome. I love the protagonist. I love the thing of this kind of irredeemable asshole protagonist that he's trying to make things better, but everything just keeps getting worse and worse. And it's basically, science without morality. What would it be? And it would be awful. So, and you're going to constantly put your kids in danger, and people around you are going to die, but wow, it's good. And the art's great. It's really dark. It's really it really fits it. And this is the stuff I like from Rick Remender. I like the pulpy, dark sci-fi. I like that kind of fear agent, kind of just getting your hands dirty with technology, and dig it. Moving on to Illegitimates, it's by Taran Killam and Draco, Mark Andraco, that you know from all over, and it's basically like all James Bond's illegitimate children getting together and being super spies or whatever. And yes, it kind of sounds like Dynamo 5 with the illegitimate children of a superhero that was done by Image, but it's a spy. It's different. It was funny. I dug it. That Killam guy is from Saturday Night Live. He was the voice of Frantic on the Awesome Show on Hulu. And, obviously this didn't happen in the real James Bond stuff, because if you remember Casino Royale, where his balls just got tortured, they just tortured the crap out of his balls. So, of course, he can't have children in that, and never did, or else, they'd be all those offspring from how much he has sex. And, in the book, you read it, and he was super worried that his penis wouldn't work anymore after that torture, but his penis still worked, but come on, he's not going to be siring any children out of those mangled balls if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. You don't have to actually read books. But this is, what if that torture scene didn't happen, and James Bond went on to be as sexually promiscuous as he is, how many illegitimate children would he have? And the answer is a lot, and it was fun. Moving on to something more serious, Locke and Key's finale came out. I cried. It was extremely well done. I loved it. I love this series, and I I like the photos in the back. There's one where Joe Hill is flipping to the bird, and he's like, this is what he has in response to anyone that doesn't like the ending of the series. It was a beautifully done ending, very, very touching. All the subplots, all the emotional stuff, all the dead relatives and dead ones, everything was just so, it was perfect. It was beautiful. I want to reread the entire series now in, kind of in one sitting at, at my own pace, and it just was a beautiful ending. And finally, just in time for Christmas, Fables got a new volume out, and that's great. It's Fables Snow White, and it's volume 19, and really great art with Buckingham and Willingham. And as you know, Fables is going to be over soon, and maybe has like a year or two left in it. I forget what issue number they're going to end on, and blah blah blah. I read it in the collections and enjoy it that way. But it's all going to be over soon, so stick with it until the end. Why not? You stuck with it this long, and I'm sure he has a great ending in mind, and I'm excited for it. Thanks for watching. Next week, or in a couple days, or whenever I decide to put it up, I'll have next week's books, which is Avengers 24 Point Now, Forever Evil 4, which that's exciting, Justice League, and Origins 2 #1, which is the Wolverine Origins, where it's all like wolves and bears, but somehow he's Wolverine. I don't know what the wolf motif was or why there were so many wolves. Should have been Wolverines, right? If he's the Wolverine, but anyway, I'll talk about that soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, thumbs up, all that stuff. Share the video. And if you're local, the Geek Easy has all the best stuff, and this week is just completely booked. We have trivia on Tuesday. Wednesday is open mic, Mark with a mic. It's going to be great. Thursday is Comics and Comics, comedians in a comic shop. Friday is Cosplay Christmas Party, which is going to be huge. The RSVP list is insane. Chances are if you live here, your friends are going to be here. And then Saturday, booze and boards during the day. It's board games and alcohol. And then at night, it's going to be karaoke. So, it's going to be fun. Come party with us. Thanks. Bye-bye.